When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, Mek Wi Talk, my people, Mek Wi Talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Mek Wi Talk, people, Mek Wi Talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, Mek Wi Talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Mek Wi Talk, people.
Unity is strength. Mek we reason. Mek we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Mek we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents Yard and Broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, Mek we reason, Mek we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica, Mek we talk.
Good evening, wherever you're listening, watching from around the world in the Eastern Caribbean. It's the Mek Wi Talk program. This evening, we're going to speak about green card holders traveling and the crackdown by officials. We have with us this afternoon attorney at law, Michelle White. We're going to have Michelle coming on to speak to us. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Mek Wi Talk program. Without further ado, I bring on Lady Michelle. Welcome to the program, ma'am.
Welcome. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I am good. For those who do not know who Michelle is and what she represents, can you go ahead and let our listeners and viewers know who Michelle is?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle Fanger. As you can hear my voice, I'm Jamaican. I hail from the wonderful parish of Trelawney, and I came to the United States, and I have been practicing for over 13 years in immigration. And for Florida, I do family law. And I always enjoy educating people about what's happening in regards to immigration in our community so that they could be educated and know the steps to take. I noticed there's an error in my name. Can't spell Michelle. So it's Michelle Fanger. Okay, people?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Michelle, tell us something now. There's a lot of crackdown going on with immigrants and so forth, especially those who have green card. A lot of people are saying they're afraid to travel with their green card. Tell us some more about that. Is that, something I should be scared of?
Okay, so I'm one that I'm not into the hysteria surrounding immigration right now. So I try to, in my own way, provide calm information for individuals who are going through the process, who have been through the process, and who are nervous right now. Before I get into traveling, one of the main important things I want to touch on that is very important is that a lot of people are concerned with immigration right now. But what people need to be mindful of is that with this new administration, they're only enforcing the laws.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of the things that are happening right now, they are not new laws that are happening. These are things that are already on the books. But if you've been practicing for a while, you would have noticed that people would encounter, like as an immigration attorney, things that we see right now, I've noticed a lot of people have encountered it before. For instance, individuals with green card. If you do have a green card, but you prefer to stay in your home country for extended period of time, you are putting your green card at risk. Because when you do sign up to get a green card, one of the requirements is that you actually should stay in the US more than you stay outside of the US.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, some people don't enforce it. A lot of agents bypass it, but you have seen where they look at your pattern and say, all right, you're doing it too much. So they'll say, all right, what we'll do is that we're gonna allow you to come in. You have an option. Either you give up your green card, where people are saying, oh, people have you signing documents. This is where it comes in. If they notice that you've been violating the terms of the agreement with your green card, they could say to you, all right, what we'll do is that you give up the green card, you sign this document, and then what you could go do is go and try to get a visa, since clearly you don't want the green card. So that's what's happening to a lot of people. So as an immigration attorney, what I always encourage people to do who have a green card, but they do have businesses that they want to wrap up in their home country that would allow them, make them stay longer outside, or something happens where you have to stay outside of the country. Like I would have people like have somebody die out of their family and they have to go wrap up the estate, so it will take months, which is way over the required time. So I'll say to them, what you could do is do something where you would get, it's kind of considered like a waiver, but it's a re-entry permit. So the re-entry permit is allowed.
Hold on for me, Michelle. Is your son okay?
Oh,
I'm just playing.
I'm not a bad mother. He's trying to get medication because he has strep throat.
Oh.
Dad is trying to give him. I don't know why he's doing it right now.
Okay.
But children.
Yes.
I'm not a bad mother.
No. I know you're not. No, Michelle, I know you're not a bad mother. I'm just trying to figure out if he needs your attention, you could just go and deal with him.
No, man. His dad is helping him.
Okay.
His dad is giving him his medication. I just got it.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if other parents know that strep throat is going around right now, so be cautious with your children.
Yes.
It's going on right now. Okay, so back to what I was saying. So when you have a green card, as I said, you cannot stay off the country. If it's a 5-year green card, you cannot be out of the country more than half of that 5 years. And the thing is that they do see a pattern. So people say, oh, I get around the system. I go down for 4 months, I come up for 2 months or a week, and I go back down. They could monitor your patterns and could tell, like, yeah, you know what, this person don't really intend to keep this green card, but they want the benefits of it. So I always recommend to individuals, like when I talk to my clients, I'll say, do you intend to stay longer or you have business in Jamaica or whichever country you're from? My recommendation would be to do a re-entry permit. It allows you to be out of the country for 2 years unbothered.
Okay.
Meaning it's a document you get, but you have to do it before you leave the country. And it's like a little card that you travel with. Yeah,
so
because
for now, when you have people with green cards, other nationals apart from Jamaicans who have green card, like for instance, I heard in the news that there was I think it was a Filipino lady who was a green card for how many years, and she went to Philippines to come back in, and when she came back in, immigration hold on her and said that she's gonna be deported back to the Philippines.
Yeah, so in those instances, it's not random. It's usually if there's a violation of the terms of your green card. And a lot of people don't understand. That's why I say you cannot feed into hysteria and say, oh, because I have a green card, I'm gonna have issues. So one of the things, are you overstaying your green card, like the allotted time allowed? I always say don't stay more than 3 to 4 months at a time, but you have people that will stay longer. So monitor the time that you stay out of the country. As I said, best protection if you intend to stay long is to get the re-entry permit before you leave. It's allowed to stay on for 2 years, nobody bothers you. For also, another issue is that people will have criminal record that, yeah, you could have it with your green card, you won't be bothered. But once you leave the country, it can be triggered. Well, remember when you run your fingerprint, everything comes up about you.
Right.
So in that instance, yes, they will look into it and they see your record and they will say, all right, you have something right here. If it's nothing major, they'll say, all right, we'll allow you to come in and you're okay. They do a secondary. But like when you come to the airport, you do the main one. If there's something that they notice, they do a secondary interview. They say, all right, there's nothing major, you could go. If they see that there's something serious in there that you need to resolve, they'll be like, all right, what we're going to do is allow you to go to court to resolve that matter. If it's something more serious where you violated the terms, whether it's a criminal, like say for instance, you were convicted of a drug charge, even in the 80s, 90s. And some people be like, oh, I haven't traveled in years. So this one time they won't see. They will see it. Or sometimes what I've noticed with a few people is that some individuals have conditional green card. This is a temporary one you get through marriage, where they have to remove the conditions. They're in a position where they're removing the condition, but it's not removed, or immigration made a decision and they didn't get notification of that decision and they traveled on that document. So clearly that's a violation. So it will put them into having issues with authorities when they're coming back into the country. So my recommendation to individuals is that if you do know that you have certain criminal offenses in your records, whether it is from the 70s, 80s, it can be an issue. Before you travel, consult an attorney. I'm not saying go talk to your friend who said, oh, me know about this and this person traveling, no issues. No, speak to an attorney who is very familiar with the law, not a document preparer. Pay that consultation, talk to an attorney, and they could look into it and say, you know what, you will not have an issue, or you might have an issue. I do not recommend you traveling, which I've said to a lot of people, because some people think that because they have certain criminal charges, but they didn't serve time or they paid a penalty, that they don't have any issues with immigration.
For those who are just joining us, we're speaking to Miss Michelle. Pronounce your last name for me, Fanner?
Fanner,
attorney at law, immigration and family law. She's based in Florida, and we're speaking to her about what is going on within the immigration system. If you have any question, you can also call in. She's willing to take your questions, but you also can call her at her office and have a consultation with her. Tell us how can we get in contact with you at your office?
You can contact me at 904. Okay, hold on, my brain fried. 904-480-6612. Or you could find me on social media at the Fanger Law Firm, or you could send me an email at admin@fangerlawfirm.com.
Okay. My question to you now, counsel, is, say for instance, you're married to someone.
Yeah.
And you're in Jamaica, but you're married to the person came back up to the United States. Is it okay for you to apply for a visa, or should you just wait until the process comes through with your husband or your wife who lives in the United States, who you're married to?
Okay, so if you're married and you intend to relocate, it's always recommended that either you wait or you come in with the proper process by getting what's called like a fiancé visa. Even though you're married, you could get a fiancé visa to come in to complete the process. Like if you do come in and you travel on your visitor's visa or your work visa with the intention of actually staying, that might be a problem where they could revoke your visa, because they look at the record and say, all right, you're married. Why are you coming to stay? And if you go say, oh yeah, my husband or my wife and I want to stay there, be like, okay, you're coming under the wrong conditions right now. If you want to come in, you have to come in the proper way. So you have to get what's the correct visa to travel in.
Yes.
But the thing what people need to understand though, if you don't intend to stay, because I've had clients that have been married, but they do not intend to stay because they want to resolve the matter before, they relocate. Like they're working, they have a good job, they want to make sure they don't want to be all that stuff. So they could travel back. If you're coming in though to visit, but you intend to leave, that is okay. What immigration do, they look at your intention at the time you travel. At the time you come in, if you say, I'm just coming to visit and I'm going to leave, sometimes some officers will give you 2 weeks, or like some of them will leave you alone. But the thing is that if after you come, say for instance, you come and after like 2 weeks, you're like, you know what? I don't want to go back home. I'm just going to stay with my spouse. It's okay to change your mind. Because the time you did come, you didn't have the intention to stay. It's just that things happen, circumstances happen, where you change your mind.
So would that affect you if your spouse gonna do everything for you now?
No, because if you never intended to stay at the time you came here,
Mm-hmm.
at the interview, you'd have to express to them that, no, I didn't really have the intention. Something happened. Because they'll question you about it. Because you cannot just, on the visa.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they look at your intention when you were coming.
Mm-hmm.
So if, say, for instance, you're coming up December, but you decide to sell your car, your house, and then when they come to customs, they ask you, like, why are you coming? And you're like, oh, I'm going to stay with my husband. They'll be like, you're coming to stay, not visit. So they look at your intention. So once your intention is not to live here on a visitor's visa or a work visa or a student visa at the time you entered, they're okay. But they do understand that people change their mind later on. But you would have to express why you changed their mind if you do decide to adjust their status here.
Counsel, can you explain to us between a visitor's visa and a work visa? Talk to us
Okay,
about
so a visitor's visa is where you come here to visit,
that.
only to visit, hang out with family, friends, go to amusement park, and then you're leaving.
Can
But
you work on that visa?
no, you're not allowed to. And that's why a lot of people get into problems when they do come to, because they do sometimes will check your phone, which they are allowed to. This is not what people tell you. And they'll see people making arrangements to be like, all right, I'll come to your business and I'll work for this amount of time, or I'll be a nanny for this amount, and then they look at it and be like, all right, they're really coming here to work. Then they send you back and they take away your visa. And usually when they do that, they'll ban you for 3 to 4 years or more. And it's a violation. So when you travel, that's why they say you have to be sure of how you travel. Because people could get multiple visas, as you know. So you can have your visitor's visas and you can have a work visa. With the work visa, yeah, you can have multiple visas. Because visas serve different purposes.
Right.
But when you come in, you have to tell them under what visa you're traveling, if you have multiple. So if you're coming to work, you have to say if you have a H1B or a J1, you say, I'm coming to work, and this is where I'm going to work. That means they're coming to work on your work visa.
Can a oh Lord, can a H1B visa? So for instance, you get a visa to visit, but in that same visa you have there's a condition that you can work. Can that happen?
You have where some conditions you could have like just for a period of time to work, but then it will be notated on the document of what specifically you can do.
Okay.
Remember, you have to be specific. But usually people get the variety different HBs or L, or they get the J1 and such to travel. So there are no confusion. But usually if you have a visitor's visa, you're only allowed to visit. If you get a student visa, you can only attend school. But then, after a period of time, you could ask for work authorization as a student.
Oh, so the student visa doesn't allow you to work. It allows you to go to school and that's it.
Yeah, but you could ask for permission to work after a period of time of having that student visa.
So would they grant that to you, or just...
No, but they grant it to you as long as you can get a job. You have somebody who could provide, or some people work through their schools, but they have different school programs. And also people, if you do come here on a visitor's visa or whatever visa, and you want to change the status of that visa, you can change it while you're in the United States. But you have to do it before the original visa time expires.
Tell us some more about that.
Okay, say for example, you come here on a visitor's visa, and after a period, they say, I want to attend school. What you could do is that you could go ahead, work on getting the I-120 and being approved by the school, and then you could petition to change your visa from a visitor's to a student visa so that you could attend school. But you have to do it before your time expires. Like when you travel, which a lot of people need to be aware, because I hear people keep saying this. They no longer write or stamp in your passport the time frame for you to stay. You have to go online at the I-94 CBP border and look up. You put in your passport, your date of birth, and your name, and then you pull up and then you'll see how long you're allowed to stay. And it will, yeah, other people don't know that and be like, oh, they didn't say anything. So I could stay here as long as I want. No, they're
So
not
hold
gonna.
on there, Michelle. Before you go any further here, Council, you're saying if a Jamaican traveling on a visitor's visa and come to Miami, they no longer stamp that you're in here for 6 months?
No, they don't. You have to go online to get the document.
Wow, pretty interesting.
Yeah, from anywhere in the US, so anywhere you land, you have to go online. Yeah, they no longer give it to you. Because some people say, oh, but they didn't say anything. Like if you don't travel often, you wouldn't know. Okay. And if you don't have a visa, you wouldn't know. So yeah, so people like be like they can stay here, but no, usually it's online and it tells you how long your time is. On I-94.
As an attorney at law, you know, we're Jamaicans, we always hear the Jamaicans say that, you know, boy, they should give her the visa. Is the visa from the United States a must or is it a privilege?
It's a privilege. It's not a must. No, you're not gonna die if you don't have it, are you? And the thing is that people don't I guess because of the mentality. Because people don't understand they can travel to a lot of more beautiful places. Then the only thing is that they cannot transit through the US if you don't have a US visa. So you know, like, but there are beautiful places and other countries to visit. And the thing is that if you do get your status in other countries, say for instance, Germany, UK, Canada, and you haven't violated immigration laws for the US, you could travel to the US without, you know, not everybody require a visa to come here. So yeah, so you could go to other countries and travel to the US if you do have their status or citizenship.
Okay, let's go back to the whole sending back home people and so forth. Say for instance saying that they just decide to just deport you accidentally. How can you get back into the United States? When they send it to El Salvador, some maximum prison, when there's nothing on your record, but accidentally they send it to El Salvador.
Well, it happens a lot, you know. So it's just you have to establish and prove that they deported you wrongfully. So it's just like it has happened where they have deported US citizen. Like some people are not aware that they're US citizen because sometimes they get it through their parents and they don't realize. But as long as you have the documentation, the courts will listen and then they will correct their mistakes. And also other ways that people can come back to the US is like if you have been in an abuse situation where people are fearful, you know, to talk about what has happened to them. You're married, you're supposed to abusing you, but you don't talk and you end up back in deportation because of that marriage. If you can establish that, that's a way that you could come back too. Because I know most people who are abused don't really talk about what's happening to them because they're fearful. They fear that they will be locked up. But sometimes it does happen because the party will say, all right, I'm going to send you back home. And they'll call immigration authority on you. And if you don't really speak up for that relief, then they're going to send you home. But if you are a victim of abuse, a child or a parent, like if a parent can be abused by their child, the US citizen child or green card holder child, or a child can be abused by their parents, which I've seen a lot, where they bring them here, they don't petition for them, they just have them working, not going to school. So if those violations happen and you've been deported, and you could actually petition that way to come back. But yeah, in regards to people are sent home, you just have to establish that you do have the required status or you did not have the criminal records that they stated that you have, or that sometimes people have similar names to other individuals, or sometimes people just have lost their documents and didn't have the proof at the time.
For those who are in, because there's a lot of Jamaicans in South Florida.
Yeah.
And for those who can't afford to get an immigration lawyer, what would you say to them as an attorney and as a Jamaican?
Well, I always recommend to get an attorney, but there are always attorneys who do offer discounted services to the court. And you do have a lot of organizations that will help individuals if you qualify by providing, and they do quality, because I used to work with a lot of those organizations before, and they're usually the ones that are at the forefront fighting for immigrant rights. So they will take on a case if that will establish that that right has been violated. So you can reach out to these organizations. Which usually happen is that if you're in deportation proceeding, you will get a booklet. Well, I don't know if this is administration what they're doing, but before they will give you a booklet with the different organizations that allow free legal services or attorneys that allow discounted legal services that you could reach out to.
Do you offer that? Do you by any chance offer that? No?
If I have that?
Yes. Do you offer that now in your practice?
Oh, me? No, not right now. Actually, I'm stepping away from the whole deportation thing.
Why?
Because it's a lot, you know. It's a lot.
I have a call coming in, Michelle. Hold on for me.
Okay.
Good night, Miss B. How you doing? You have a question for Miss Michelle? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, you have a good night, Miss B. You have a question for Miss Michelle?
Yeah, just I'm son who asked the question.
Okay,
good evening, Miss Mitchell. Good evening.
Evening, how are you?
If you have obtained a visa, I you hold on. Yeah. Yes, Miss Mitchell. If you have a visa and you may visit America, I'm in a mall, a shop, or a walk or so. I now catch me. So me never walk with the passport. Cause the visa and the passport, I say, me left go down a mall, go buy something. I mean, I walk with the passport. A ice, me run in the ice. What is it? How me not get out?
Okay, so if ICE holds on to you, you'd have to, they give you time to establish who you are. So I guess you'll have to have a point of contact who has your document. I could bring it to you to show them that you do have your visa, that you have not violated it. And once they see that, then you'll be released. Because what people need to understand, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So in order to have that now, if you get the visa, you're up there. Everywhere you go, if you walk with the passport.
Yes, I recommend to everybody, great question, that you walk with proof of your status. So if you're going through immigration process where you don't have somebody petitioning for you, walk with your receipts. It will help you. A lot of people say, well, it will help you, because if you do go before a judge, they see that you have something pending. What they'll do is that they'll allow you to let the process work. So walk with your documentation, a copy of everything with you.
So how do you get a work visa?
Well, to get a work visa, you would have to have somebody, an employer that can sponsor you. And you have agencies that do it, because you have like restaurants, hotels, they usually work through agencies. Like you provide them the information and they'll put in the petition for you, and they'll sponsor it and get you your work documents, and then you work for them.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jeffrey.
You're welcome. You have any more questions for her? That's it.
Well, I don't really have any more. I'm going to try work visa, but as what she tell me, get the full understanding. As me tell me never travel, but me go look and try.
Okay.
But me kind of afraid still, because I'm afraid of heights, because if heights hold me and El Salvador must send me.
No, I think the issue, is sending people to other countries. Because usually if you're being deported, you have to designate a country that you will be going to. And some people say,
well, because great program, Jeffrey, and thank you, Miss Michelle, for highlight we and make we learn that if we have an intention, we know how to go forward, that we can get on the right track.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, so thank you very much. And Jeffrey, boy, may I tell you, you are God sent. You have everybody over here. So when you're done with me, we're supposed to pass every exam.
All right, Miss P, thanks for calling in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the important thing, because I think it brings a lot of confusion to people where they're like, oh, they're just sending people to other countries. Usually when you're in deportation, you have to designate the person. They ask you what's your designated country. You have to tell them where you want to go. If there's an issue with the country, you definitely can't go back. Or before, like Cuba, they couldn't send people to Cuba. They'll have to wait until Cuba is accepting Haiti because of what was happening. But Jamaica accept their people. And other countries accept their people. If you don't stay in the country and act like you don't know your country, then they'll pick a country for you.
Yes. For those who are just joining us, we're speaking to Michelle Fanger. She is an attorney at law, immigration, and family law. She studies that, and you can call in and ask any question. 954-529-8030. It's also a WhatsApp number. 954-529-8030. Share up this live feed to everyone who you know may want to speak to an immigration lawyer. We have her online now to speak to us of what is going on and what she, what can be done in the sense of you being picked up by ICE or any other immigration person. Michelle, tell us some more about the grounds of a person getting deported back to Jamaica or to other countries.
Okay, so real quickly, so people go into deportation for various reasons.
Yes.
So one of the major thing is that you violated the immigration laws that are here. So one, if you have certain criminal offenses, like drug trafficking, soliciting, domestic abuse, theft is a major thing that people think, oh, it's just stealing. It's a major thing. Don't get caught up with it because it shows that you're morally corrupt and shouldn't be here in the United States. So those are crimes that once you get a conviction on those crimes, you are automatically considered deportable. So what I usually say to people, if you're going through any criminal proceedings, always make sure either your attorney knows about immigration or work alongside an immigration attorney. Because you want to make sure whatever you're doing does not impact you immigration-wise. Because some people look at the fact and say, oh yeah, it's just where I pled guilty and I just did a day or I just paid a fine and all of that stuff. But sometimes it's more and it will put you in deportation. And what people need to understand, like in some states, a lot of the officers are deputized. So sometimes when you are locked up or picked up, they will run you through ICE. And some of these facilities do have ICE in their building. So even if you are locked up and they release you, the police, ICE could pick you up and then ICE could hold you based on your crime until a decision is made and for you to go to immigration court. So people have to be mindful of, as I said, the crimes, be familiar with them and how they can impact you. Another thing is that a lot of time they don't really enforce it over staying a visa, but as you see, it's still a violation of the immigration laws, right? So you have to be mindful of that. Always try to ensure that if you are a green card holder, I say to people, as soon as you can become a citizen, go ahead and apply to become a citizen. A lot of people say, I don't want to be a citizen, but it's really the only protection you kind of have because a green card only goes so far. Because one thing can happen and you lose it and you end up in all these proceedings, right?
So how if you get your green card, say for 2 years, after the 2 years you can apply for your citizenship?
No, not everybody. So if you're getting it through marriage, after 3 years you can apply.
Okay.
Any other means after 5 years.
Okay.
All right. So so it doesn't work like that. And then the thing is that if you do have certain crimes that even though they're not deportable, because one thing people must understand, when you get a green card, you also are tested that during that period, you don't get any criminal conviction or any, like crimes or whatever. So if you do have certain crimes, you have to wait another 5 years. Because 5 years are within the 3 years. If you do the 3 years, you can have certain criminal or crimes. But they be like, all right, you're not fit to be a U.S. citizen. So they look at those things. And the thing is that what people understand is like sometimes people say, oh, but it wasn't a felony, right? Like a DUI wasn't a felony, it was a DUI. But they look at these small crimes, how often they're committed, what they are, and they could put you under something what's called moral turpitude, which is saying, all right, it's not a major criminal offense, but it shows that you're not morally fit to be here in the United States. So if you're continuously speeding, getting tickets and all that stuff and think it means nothing, they can look at all of that and say, you know what, you're willingly violating our rules of the road, endangering people's life. So clearly you don't care about the rules. So you're just not fit to be here. You morally are not fit to be here.
Okay.
So people have to be mindful of that. And I always say for minors, the parents, as soon as they know, if they're becoming a citizen and they know they have a child that's a minor, they should try to go ahead and try to get that child their citizenship along with them.
So for example, saying if a person is married in the United States, okay, and they have a son or a daughter back home who is of a different father or a different mother, well, a different father, they can apply for them to come up.
Yeah, it depends though. So if the mother says the mother and they have 2 children in Jamaica and the mother came here and got married, if she got married before they turned 18, it established what's called a step-parent relationship. So as a step-parent, you can then petition for that child. But if it's over 18, then no. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, so 18 on that. So you just have to establish that as a step-parent relationship. And then you can. And another thing that I see a lot of people go through, not to cut you off, is that they'll have a child and then it comes back that it's not their child. Paternity issue. And they'll be like, but I could still petition for them. The only suggestion is that you could petition for them if you were married to the mother before they turn 18. Then you can petition for them as a step parent. So but if nothing was established, then you really don't have any right to petition for them.
Oh, because if a father is petitioning for his children and when they check the DNA, it don't belongs to him, he can't petition for them again?
No, unless he was married to the mother before the child or children turn 18, then he could just switch over and redo it as a step parent. But if not, then that's foregone. The child would have to find another way.
Very interesting.
Very interesting.
You send me a message. You can go and do it now, Michelle.
Yeah, call me.
Yes. The number to call is 954-529-8030. That's 954-529-8030. We're speaking to immigration lawyer, Michelle Fanger. She's also a family lawyer. And you can call in and ask any question, 954-529-8030. It's also a WhatsApp number. Call in and ask questions pertaining to immigration issues that you may be facing. 954-529-8030. That's the number to call in. Jacket cap. Who can go? You people are something else, you know.
What did you say?
Let me show you this. Lord, I think we have lost Michelle. I don't know what happened. We have lost the feed of attorney at law, Miss Michelle Fanger. She is going to come back on. I think there is something going on with her internet. What happened there, we don't know. But we're speaking to her pertaining to immigration issues and also people who are being deported back to their homeland or to other places within because of the issues that they said that they're facing here in the United States. We're speaking to immigration lawyer, Miss Michelle Fanger. We have lost her. I think she needs to go out and come back in. Michelle, if you're hearing us, you need to go out and come back in. I don't know what's going on. Oh, Lord, we have lost her altogether. Michelle, if you go out and come back in. For those who want to call in, we're not going to speak about politics tonight. We're speaking about issues that you may be facing or somebody in your family, some friends of yours may be facing this issue. And let you know that no visa, the Americans in Jamaica, the American embassy, they do not have, nobody having a link to any visa. Make it clear and straight. No one have any link to any visa. Stop wasting your money and giving people. No one have any link to give you any visa. So for those who keep on going around and telling people, me a blink can't get a visa, no go sir. No go sir. When Michelle comes back, we're gonna ask the question: if someone came through a third party country without inspection, can they adjust their US? Can they adjust in the US without leaving? We're gonna ask Michelle as soon as she come back on. Hopefully she comes back on. I don't know what's happened. Maybe her internet fell or something. I don't know. Or drop. As I would say. Let's see if we can get her on the thing here. 954-529-8030. We're still waiting for her to rejoin. Let me see if I can get her. Hold on for me. Michelle, here it is. Yes, we're waiting on her to come back on. Jackie, why you don't behave yourself? That's what she said, that if a person, say a man in Jamaica who go overseas, he has been with his girlfriend or baby mother for many years, and he decided to go overseas. Welcome back to Michelle. We lost it there a while ago.
Yes, my computer went out.
Okay.
So I'm back on. Are you seeing me?
Yes, I'm seeing you. Michelle, we were speaking about the whole idea if a person, somebody just asked a question rather. If someone comes through a third party country without, hold on for me. Good night. Welcome to the Mek Wi Talk program. You're live.
Yeah, good night.
Yes,
Good
you
night.
have a question for the attorney?
Yes. If someone has a 10-year visitor visa, how long they can stay in the US?
Okay, great question. So although you have a 10-year visa, you have to look at the amount of time they allot to you when you enter into the country on that visa. Say, for instance, you're traveling in March, April 1st, April 2nd, tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
When you come in, the officer will give you a period of time that you could say it could be a week, 3 days, it could be 6 months. So as I said earlier, you would have to go on the CBP website, the I-94, and it will tell you how long you're allowed to stay in the US. So you have to look at that time to see how long you could stay. So not because you have a 10-year, mean you can stay for 10 years.
You understand, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so that means that normally what they'll do, they'll stamp in your passport 6 months or maybe 2 weeks. No, it is a total different thing. You have to go on a website to see how long they give you for in the United States. So not because you have a 10-year visa, it doesn't mean you can stay 10 years in the United States.
Okay, yeah.
All right?
Yeah, man, thanks.
Thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
Yeah, man,
Okay. 954-529-8030. That's the number to call to ask our immigration lawyer any questions that you need to ask her. And for those who lives in South Florida, you can contact her by Miss Michelle?
Oh, 904, by phone 904-480-6612. Or you can find me on social media at the Fanger Law Firm. Or you could send an email to michelle@fangerlawfirm.com.
Okay. Good night. Welcome to the Mek Wi Talk program. You're live. You have a question for the lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Yes. Good evening, Michelle.
Good evening. How are you?
Good. I had a question.
Okay.
I filed for my debt.
Hold on for me, sir. You're being muffled. Are you using an earpiece?
No, maybe speaker.
No. Take me off speaker because I'm not hearing you clearly.
Hold on. Okay.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I filed for my daughter.
Okay.
Hello?
No, no, hold on. Yes, but yes, I filed for my daughter, and when I filed for her, she were married, but
Mm-hmm.
now she's divorced. I I get the divorce paper and I send it into the immigration, and now she's dating now, and she's dating an American citizen. Can she get married and come here?
Well, she can get married and have her spouse petition for her to come to the United States, but you'll have to withdraw your
Uh,
application. You said you petitioned for her?
yes.
Yeah, you'd have to withdraw your petition though. Because a few things happened because you said she was single when you initially did the application.
No, she was married.
She was married and then
Yes,
got divorced and
and she got divorced.
I updated USCIS that she was divorced.
Yes, but I got the form, I got the divorce form, and I sent it into the immigration.
Okay, so usually what happens is that with older children, it takes a longer period of time for them to get approved. But also when their status change, it puts them in a different category than their initial category, and it will take a little bit longer. So, like with a spouse, your application is processed more quickly. So if she does
Now
get,
she now she's dating an American guy.
Oh,
So I don't know. I'm asking if she could get married.
hold on, hold on.
hold on, I'm a little bit confused. So, all right, so if she gets married now, it will mess up the application that you have for her right now. Because you'll have to update immigration. What they might do is cancel it or they're going to just change her category. But if she's dating this person and they do get married, he can do a petition for her. But if she gets married right now, you're going to have to update immigration just like what you did in regards to her divorce.
Okay.
You
And it might
understand, sir?
impact her application.
Yes. So maybe you're gonna need a maybe that's what her lawyer can do take care of that stuff, right?
Yes.
And
You said if you talk to an attorney, they could solve. Yes.
where are you calling from, sir?
I'm calling. I'm here in Florida.
So why don't you get Michelle number and speak to Michelle off air?
Okay, I get it. I I, I get it from. All right. I'm gonna call him, Mr. Jeffrey, and I get it from you.
Okay, no problem.
Mr. You could call. You could text me your number. You could text it to me on this number.
No, no. What you're gonna call me back because when I come off here, my brain gone dead.
All right. Cool.
Call me and I'll give it to you. All right.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Come on, people, share up the live. Share up the live. You don't know if anyone out there need assistance. The numbers to call is 954-529-8030. We're speaking to immigration lawyer Michelle.
Hi. Good evening, everyone.
Michelle, give us back your telephone number, your email address, and so forth.
My telephone number is 904-480-6612. Or you could get me at michelle@fangerlawfirm.com. Or you could find me on social media, all social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, at the Fanger Law Firm. My last name, Law Firm.
Okay, do me a favor now. Can you type me in private message and put it up in the chat room, please?
Okay.
Your address and your telephone number and so forth.
Okay, how do I put it in?
No, you're the same place you text me that you're gonna do for the tablet.
Yeah, but I'm on my tablet now.
Okay. All right. What you can no, well, it's okay. We'll figure out a way how to do it. You're gonna get your
okay. I got it.
Okay, good.
I know.
We're speaking to attorney at law Michelle Fanger from the Fanger Law Firm, and we're speaking about immigration law. She's also a family lawyer. You can call the numbers are 9545298030. That's 9545298030 if you have a question to ask her. Michelle, tell us some more about hold on for me. Can you give the name of your law firm and numbers, then I can just put it up?
Okay, I'm trying. Hold on, let me go back.
Yeah. It's 9545298030, the numbers to call in. You deal with family law also.
Yeah.
If for instance saying that someone is getting a divorce and there is a issue with the splitting up of the the house and the this and the devils know what people go through when they get in divorce. Because me not get divorced. Me not believe in a divorce.
Okay.
When they come to you, what advice do you give them? Do you tell them not to divorce, or do you just go along with the proceeding?
Well, no. Usually, I try to figure out where they're at mentally, because some people come in and they automatically, like, it's not because they're looking for a divorce, it's just that they're upset and looking to vent. So that's the first thing I'll have to figure out, because you don't want to waste your time and the other person's time. So I should do a consultation to figure out. But usually when some people do ask for divorce, they've made up their mind. They're at this point, they've tried everything else, so they want to get a divorce. And nothing is wrong with being a divorce, because as you know, things happen. You love someone today, you don't love them tomorrow. It's not a bad thing. People fall in and out of love daily. And life is too short to be unhappy and miserable. So if you have tried your best and it's not working, it's okay to get a divorce and move on and find your happiness. So if they do come to me and ask me for advice, that's exactly what I tell them. They have to figure out what they want to do. In regards to their assets, they have to mentally figure out what assets they do have and how they want to split it and what they're willing to give up or not give up. Regards to children, I always say look at what's best for the child, not be vindictive in that, because it does impact the child. And yeah, make it smooth. It doesn't have to be horrible. It's horrible when people have feelings and they have anger issues. But I'm always for, if you're not happy, then go find your happiness. That's just me.
Wow.
No.
Michelle, tell us about the whole immigration thing, in the sense of you getting married to a US citizen, and for instance saying that the US citizen that you get married to filed for you and everything. You live in the United States, they filed for you and everything. And for some unknown reason, as I would say, whatever hit the fan, and they decide to go to separate ways. What can happen to your filing?
Well, it depends, because if you're in the process of, all right, say for instance, you're in the process and you're getting the conditional, which is 2 years before, you have to go back after 2 years to say this is a marriage where it's a legitimate marriage. They give it 2 years. So if it's in that 2-year window, both of you separate, then what will happen is that you have to establish to immigration why you should still have your status, and they should remove it, either because you were abused or it would cause a hardship for you if you left the country. Could you hold on 1 minute?
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead. We're gonna bring back on Miss Michelle Fanger from the Fanger Law Firm. She's speaking to us about immigration law. And the numbers to call in to ask her questions on the Mek Wi Talk program is 9545298030. 9545298030. That's the numbers to call in on the program here. For those who are in South Florida, you can contact Michelle at Funger Law Firm, 904-480-6612. For those who are in South Florida who needs a lawyer, you can contact her at, let me bring her back in, 904-480-6612.
Close the door. Okay, yes, as I was saying, yeah, so if you are going through, you asked me the question about if you're going through the process, you end up getting divorced. So if you're in the 2-year window where you're moving the conditions, you'll have to establish, as I said earlier, that you still should have your green card. So you have to prove whether that abuse caused you, that person to leave you, whether it's financial. Remember, abuse doesn't have to be physical where they're hitting you. So it can be financial abuse where they're taking all the money, or verbal abuse where they're making certain statements throughout the relationship that hinders you. But what you have to do is also establish that you guys did legitimately go into the relationship in good faith. It's just that it fell apart. Now usually just regular falling apart marriage. It has to be more. And then what I usually recommend to people, if it's so bad, the abuse, then try to get therapy. You could talk to a pastor or actually go into therapy to help you. So that's an important thing. So if you are going through the process, my recommendation to anybody going through it is that once you get married, collect your documents and also keep copies of your documents. So when you get married, get a copy of the birth certificates, get a copy of the bank statement. So like keep copies of everything. Don't wait until it's over. You'll be like, oh, I don't have copies of anything, because how are we going to establish the immigration that you did have a legitimate marriage? So until you become a citizen, keep copies of everything. Whatever you submit to immigration initially, keep copies of those.
There's a question there on the thing there. What are the reasons after you get a 2-year, what's that?
Conditional green card?
Condition, yes.
Well, usually they don't extend it after they remove the condition. If they did do that, it's because they are suspicious of the marriage, that, like it's not a legitimate marriage. So they're giving more time to figure out if it's an authentic marriage. But usually once they remove the condition, usually within a year, you can apply to become a citizen, because within 3 years of marriage, you could apply to be a citizen. So they usually don't do that. But only time I've seen that is where they're suspicious of the marriage from the get-go. So when you do remove the condition, the person that's assigned to your case will have more time because they want to do more investigation. So what they've been doing in recent years is to give you a letter stating that your case is still being processed and X amount of time is needed. But usually if they are suspicious of something, that is why they won't remove it immediately.
Okay. This question, you want to call about the person for them to ask this question here. Hello, good night. Yes, you have a question for Miss Michelle?
Good night.
Good night.
Yes, ask your question.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening. I would like to ask Miss Michelle. Good evening, Miss Michelle. I'm asking a question.
Hi.
Yes, go ahead.
One is here. One came up here and overstayed, and if one overstayed for over a year, could they ask their boss if they could apply for a work permit?
Well, if you already passed the term, no, because you already violate the terms of the, I'm assuming it was a visitor's visa that you came on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you violate,
Sure.
Yeah, if you violate the terms of the visitor's visa, they'll be automatically barred from getting any other visas or status. The only thing I would recommend, like if you overstay and you're trying to adjust through a spouse, they won't penalize you. You could stay here and adjust if you're supposed to be a U.S. citizen or if you're the parent of a U.S. citizen child. Other from that, you're automatically barred.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because I took sick when I came up here. I have an open heart surgery.
Okay. Okay,
So,
so yeah, so at that point, you should have gotten what they consider an extension on your stay. So if you had applied for an extension because of medical reasons, you would have gotten it.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, if I've done it from that time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right,
because
ma'am?
that's
Okay.
one thing people need to
Okay,
understand.
thank you very much.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's one thing people need to
Okay.
understand. If you're going to overstay, something might come up which will cause you to overstay. It's best to apply for an extension before your stay expires. If you apply for the extension and it's approved, you won't have any issues.
Mm.
And the only individuals that are not directly impacted by overstaying are minors, because they still think that minors are not making decisions for themselves.
Oh.
Yeah, it's their parents.
Hmm. Pretty interesting. Michelle, I know you have to go ahead here from 7 o'clock. I know you have to go now. You have any final word to say to the people, or you want to continue till about 9 o'clock?
No, man.
I'm just kidding.
No, but it was a pleasure. You can find me on anytime. And it was a pleasure being here. If you want to reach out to me, you could reach out to me at 904-480-6612, or you could get me on social media at the Fanger Law Firm.
There you go.
And have a wonderful afternoon, everyone.
Same to you, Michelle. Thanks for coming on.
Bye.
Bye-bye. That's Michelle Fanger from the Fanger Law Firm. They're coming on the program here to speak to us about immigration issues. Immigration issues. Thank you all for joining us. This is where we're going to say so long from here for another night. Till you hear my voice again, I'm Jeffrey Tavares saying thank you all. God bless you. May God bless our island home, Jamaica land we love. Have a great night, everybody. Great evening. Go over to other media, other platforms, and watch who you can watch over there. Speaking about issues facing our island home, Jamaica land we love. Join me tomorrow. Let me say this tomorrow. Let me find this thing here. It is confirmed. It is confirmed. I pray to God that nothing happened this time, but it is confirmed. Let me look for this. Uno momento. Uno momento. Uno momento. Uno. Here we go. Let me send this over to my email. Here we go. There you go. Let me go over to this email here and get this on the thing here. But it is confirmed for tomorrow. Okay, what's going on here? Just a moment, please. Oh, here it is. It is confirmed for tomorrow. We'll be having... I go back to this. Please don't go anywhere. Let me just do this advertisement here for you guys. Go back to this. Get this out of the way. Then go to this. Let me see if this is one coming up. Yes, here it is. This is confirmed for tomorrow at 7 p.m. Opposition spokesperson on finance, Mr. Julian Robinson, made his promise that he'll come back on. He'll be coming tomorrow at 7 p.m. Let's join us tomorrow at 7 p.m. We're going to do this program quick, that we can go over to my good friend Wilfred Radigan program. So tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Jamaica time, 8 p.m. U.S. time, join me as I speak to the opposition spokesperson in finance, Mr. Julian Robinson. And come next week, Monday, I'll be having a surprise for you. Someone who I've been trying to get for many years will be on my program. Come next week, Monday. That's a surprise. But join me tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Jamaica time, 8 p.m. U.S. time. My special guest will be Mr. Julian Robinson, MP, Shadow Minister of Finance, Planning and the Public Service. He will be on my program tomorrow at 7 p.m. Until you hear my voice again, once more, may God bless you. May God bless our island home, Jamaica land we love. Have a great afternoon, everyone. God bless you. Good night.
When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, Mek Wi Talk, my people, Mek Wi Talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Mek Wi Talk, people, Mek Wi Talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, Mek Wi Talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Mek Wi Talk.